Hello everyone, this is Rassan Shibuni for Mavoa Canadian Immigration Made Easy, and in this video we're going to explore the most common form for permanent residency to Canada. That is the IMM 0008, and that's the form you need to fill out and send with your application regardless of the immigration program that you chose. You always need to fill out this form. So we're going to explore how to find the right version here and how to fill it out properly. Okay, we start on the CIC website, that is cic.gc.ca. Then go to the search bar at the top and enter the form name. So that is IMM 0008. And on this page, scroll down to the link that says find an IRCC application package or form. Here, when asked what we're looking for, we're going to choose a form or a checklist. And we land on this page. Just so you know, this is how you make sure that you get the most up-to-date form for Canadian immigration. You have the date modified here, and it comes from the official website. You can find all the forms on Google, but they may not be the most up-to-date. So this way, you make sure you have the correct form. Here under the filter items, we're going to enter IMM 0008 with the space in between. And you can see that's the first one, generic application form for Canada. So if we click here, you're probably going to land on a page that says, please wait, and that's okay. It's because you don't have the right extension. If that's the case, just go to the top right corner and click download. You'll have the document downloaded, and then you can open it on a PDF reader. Okay, so we went ahead and did that. This is what the forms look like. That's the generic application form for Canada. And now we're going to start discussing the main fields that may pose problems for you as an applicant. An important information here, this form needs to be filled out by any person who wants to immigrate to Canada and is asking for the permanent resident visa. If you already are a permanent resident and if you want to sponsor your spouse, for example, then your spouse needs to fill this form out, not you. Any person who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident does not need to fill out this form. Okay, so let's start with the first section. Here we have application details, program under which you are applying. In this menu here, we have all the main classes of Canadian immigration. The family class, that's anything related to family sponsoring. Economic class, that is for skilled workers, investors, and entrepreneurs. Refugee class, that's pretty obvious. And other is some very specific programs like humanitarian and compassionate grounds and things like that. And here you're going to find all the immigration program that fall under the family class. So you could be applying under a spouse that want to come to Canada to join their husband or wife, common law partner, conjugal partner, etc., etc. This is where you have to put your current status relative to this application. For your information, common law partner is a really strong status in Canada. It has almost the same rights and privileges as spouse. And to be a common law partner, you need to live with your partner in a conjugal relationship for 1 year under the same roof, and you need to be able to prove it. These are the main guidelines for common law partnership. Now, to make this tutorial simple, we're going to select economic class because family class has a lot of exceptions and it doesn't serve our purpose here. Under economic class, we're going to go with skilled worker. Here, the third question is how many family members, including you, are in this application? In this answer, you have to include all dependent children that are not permanent residents or Canadian citizens. So if you have any children, stepchildren, or any dependent children whatsoever, you have to include them. So let's say, for example, you're a family of four, two adults and two children. In this case, if everyone is coming to Canada and the children are dependent, you're going to have four family members here. Language preference, that's pretty obvious. Here we have, where do you intend to live in Canada? Watch out. This is a tricky question because some programs are not compatible with some provinces. So make sure the program you're applying under actually works with your destination. If you answer Quebec in question 5, then you need to answer question 6 as well. Have you received your certificate of selection of Quebec? Because before submitting a PR visa application, you need to receive your CSQ or at least to have applied for it. So if you answer Quebec here, you'll have to answer the date in which you received your CSQ, and if not, the date when you applied. If you answer any other province than Quebec, you can see this area will become gray and you won't have to fill it out. The second section is about the personal details. Here you have to answer all your information about your height, your size, your sex, your citizenship, your country of residence, etc. Question 3 refers to the UCI. UCI is Unique Client Identifier. This is a number that CIC provides you once you pay some kind of fees or once you start officially an application with them. So if it's your first time filling out the application for permanent residency, you won't have a UCI. If, however, you filled out an application before, you paid the fees, you received confirmation that your application has been received, then you should be having a UCI. So check your emails. It's usually written at the top right corner of any letters coming from CIC. The important thing to know in this section is question 11. During the past 5 years, have you lived in any country other than your country of citizenship or your current country of residence, indicated above, for more than 6 months? This is the key information here, for more than 6 months. So in that 5 year span, have you spent more than 6 months in one country? If so, you need to enter it, enter the details, the status that you had in that country, and the reason for your travel. We continue with question 13. This is related to your marital status. So you have to answer questions regarding your relationship, if you had any, even if you are divorced or if you have been previously in a common law relationship. Then we move to the contact information section. This is pretty standard, except the most important information here is the email address. CIC will first communicate with you by email, so make sure the email address that you enter here is accessible, that you check it out frequently, and that you did not misspell it. Okay, next we have the passport information and the national identity document. Here you have to enter all your information as required. The next section is about education and occupation detail. Here you can see all the different levels of education with the Canadian standards. For Europeans or people from the rest of the world, a license in Europe or in the LMD system equals a bachelor's degree in Canada. The number of years of education in total, this is roughly, you start counting from middle school. So if you have a master's degree, that should be around 23 years. Just make sure to check out the instruction guide. So the way I showed you how to find the form, instead of checking specific form, you can check instruction guide and have access to all the explanations with all the fields in detail. We won't cover everything here because it's a short video, but you know where to find the information. And if you have any question, you can enter them in the comment section. Okay, we move on. Language detail, that's pretty obvious. Have you taken a test from a designated testing agency? This is for people who immigrate under the skilled worker program, so they have to take tests like the TCF or the IELTS. And here we come to the tricky section about the dependents. Now you have to answer all this information with the personal details of your dependent children. And you have this remove dependent if you have made mistakes. And at the bottom of the section, you have also added dependent if you have more than one child. If you don't have any children, obviously you leave it blank or you enter NA as non-applicable. That's the standard terminology to say that this field is not applicable to your situation. So you can see here it's the same format as before, so we move on. Marital status, this concerns the marital status of the child. Passport, national identity document, education, occupation, this is also for your dependent child. And once you get to the end of it, you click on validate. If you have filled out everything properly, when you click to validate, you should have a page with barcodes. And if not, you should have something like this. This is to show you that fields are missing. So it's a good way to check that your form is filled out properly. Once you finished filling out everything and you click on validate and you didn't make any mistake, you should get a page like this. That means that you enter all the field properly and that the form is able to generate barcodes for your information. It's not over. We move to the most important part of the document, which is the consent and the signature. Here you can answer yes or no. It doesn't really have an impact on your application. If you answer yes, it does have an impact on the future of immigration because it helps CIC improve and eventually reduce processing time. So if you want to share your information, that will give them more data and hopefully make immigration better. The last part is the declaration of the applicant. Here you have to sign with your name and the date in which you have signed. It is extremely important that you sign, otherwise, your form will be considered as null. So make sure you sign, and then once you do, you click validate here once again, and this is how you validate the IMM 0008. That's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you have any question, you can write them down in the comment section or send us an email at info@mavoie.com. And if you like the video, please drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to know more. This was Rasan for Mavoie Canadian Immigration Made Easy, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.